All right. Well, thank you everyone for coming to this conference. Yeah, just shout out to Rebecca for emceeing and organizing along with Simon and Runar. Thanks to all the speakers. There were just some amazing talks. I also just really liked the variety of talks, just so many different areas where people are doing cool stuff with Unison. So yeah, that was just really fun to see. And also, yeah, thanks to everyone for coming. For folks who are sort of new to the Unison community, you are super welcome here. I hope you enjoyed the conference, and I hope that you stick around. And we're here for you as you start learning Unison, or if you have questions. But yeah, I just have a few kind of concluding remarks, some sort of reflections on the past couple years, and then a few things that I'm kind of excited about, kind of looking forward. So I thought I would just go through that. So first of all, I would say it's been a great year. Here are just some statistics. We have done a number of UCM releases. There have been thousands of commits, hundreds of PRs that were merged. The number of accounts on Unison shares, so the number of people writing Unison code is, up over 1,000. That's 2x since November of last year. There are now over close to 600 projects, up 2.75x from November of last year. And I think this number is just kind of impressive. This is 76,906 definitions. That is sort of the size of the Unison ecosystem right now, sort of across all projects on Unison Share, the main branch of all projects. And this has tripled in the last 10 months or so. And so, yeah, this is, the community and the ecosystem are continuing to grow, and people are building really cool stuff, as I think you got to see today. Also, in addition to these very impressive numbers about code that's been written, there have been over 180 memes posted to the Discord memes channel. And yeah, if you have I don't know, ideas for Unison or tech related memes, feel free to share them. I've really enjoyed checking that channel, and yeah, just kind of I feel like the Discord has been a really fun place to hang out and talk about code and tech stuff. Okay, so what has the core team been working on the past year? So we've done a number of things. We shipped hyperlinked diffs on Unison Share. So when you open a contribution, you have the little write up of your contribution, and then you can flip over to this changes tab where you can see a diff of the changes. And all the code in this diff is also hyperlinked in the usual way, so you could click through to any of the definitions that you're seeing in the diff here. Another thing that we shipped that was really cool was global definition search. So on the front page of Unison Share, you can search for across the entire ecosystem. You can search by name, you can search by type, and of course, you can still search for individual users or projects, just like you used to be able to. There's also been a new and improved update and merge process that our previous process had a whole bunch of issues with it. I think there's still some more work to do here, but typically this works really well and is a very pleasant experience. You write your code, you hit update, it often just propagates automatically. If not, it gives you a scratch file to get compiling. And merge kind of works similarly, and that was a big improvement over the previous process that we had. There's also a really easy way to install libraries and upgrade them. So you do lib.install, it's one command, and then you can use the upgrade command to upgrade between libraries. You get autocomplete as you're selecting the version you're upgrading from and to. And so that's sort of all sort of core Unison and basic tooling. We've also been pretty hard at work on Unison Cloud. Some major things that we've shipped are this transactional cloud storage, which Fabio talked about a bit in his talk, and these it's a very new feature, but background jobs or daemons, which are kind of they're pretty low level building block, but you need them for building many kinds of interesting distributed systems with Unison Cloud. Okay, so that's kind of stuff that we've done kind of recently, but now I want to like look ahead a little bit to the future, just a few things that I'm excited about that are coming soon. So first is you can expect to see some major performance improvements to the core language. So the current just-in-time compiler, which I would say is kind of in beta right now, is sometimes hundreds of times faster than the current interpreter. The latest version that'll be in the next, I guess it'll be 0.5.27 or maybe 28. I can't remember, but the latest version that you'll be able to try out with the next release is, at least on my machine, it's getting around 625 million operations per second for just sort of like straight line performance, which is not quite as good as you know, C or other native languages, but it's pretty good performance and is much faster than the current interpreter. Dan Dole has been doing really hard work on that. We also have the just-in-time compiler actually deployed to staging of Unison Cloud right now, and we're sort of putting it through its paces there. And it might be a little while before we actually get it deployed in production on Unison Cloud, basically powering the compute fabric of Unison Cloud. But all the integration tests pass, and the just-in-time compiler is, you know, it supports all the things that are needed to power the back end of Unison Cloud. So definitely encourage you to try out the JIT and let us know what you think. If you find something that you feel like should be faster, let us know, because we're still kind of tuning the actual code generation to get, you know, even better performance where we can. I think it'll be a little while before the JIT fully replaces the interpreter, and so in the meantime, we actually have been doing some work on optimizing the interpreter. It looks like we actually have a new design for the interpreter that is up to 50 to 60 times faster. So it's not going to quite get to the speeds of a native compiler, but, you know, in the 50 to 60 million operations per second range. So anyway, really exciting stuff. I think this is also really important for you know, large scale distributed systems and, you know, processing large amounts of data. So I'm excited for these things to be deployed and land. Okay, so another thing that we have coming pretty soon is blob and large object storage. So currently there's about a 350 kilobyte or so restriction on the size of an individual table entry. We're going to be lifting that restriction. We are also adding a separate blob storage type, which I think was alluded to earlier. That's just for sort of raw bytes, and that can be also whatever size you want. So you might use that for, you know, static assets and things like that. This is something that is super useful for all kinds of things, and just sort of increases the expressiveness of Unison Cloud and the storage model that you have access to. So I think excited to see what folks do with this. And yeah, just generally, I feel like we've barely scratched the surface on like the different distributed computing libraries that we can build and that others can build. I mean, you know, the Fabio's presentation on the distributed streaming library. I mean, that library is really cool, but it also, you know, is just sort of one person, a little project, a couple thousand lines of code, and that's the kind of thing that you can build on top of Unison Cloud. And so I'm just very interested to, you know, continuing to grow that ecosystem. And the vision is this a world of compositional distributed systems where you have all these different distributed computing components. They can all talk to each other. Everything's sort of a function call away. It's compositional. You have a common type system, and you sort of focus on the fun parts, the interesting parts. So I'm just kind of excited for that process to continue. And then lastly, I just am just generally excited about the future of Unison's tooling. I feel like, I mean, I loved Simon's talk. That was just so inspiring this morning, just kind of seeing where the tooling can go. I think there's so many more things that we can do. And Unison is a language that feels like it's only going to get better and better. I feel like the foundations of the approach that we've taken are just continuing to bear fruit. And it definitely takes a lot of work to uh, to have gotten to this point. But we just have like such a nice platform for just continuing to innovate and do cool things. So I'm just excited about that. But yeah, overall, so I'm excited about the technology, but I just in general really enjoy the Unison community. I feel like it is a fun place where people are kind to each other, and yeah, it's both satisfying to work with other people and talk about the technology, but also have a supportive place where people help each other out when you have questions. Um, people are actually helpful, and it's just a pleasure to be a part of the community. And so yeah, the best part of Unison is all of you. So that's a wrap. Thank you so much for coming to the conference. And yeah, everybody have a great weekend. And for folks who are newcomers, I hope that you stick around, and we hope to see more of you in the community.